Hey everyone, welcome back to Play the Game HQ. I'm Daniel, and this is Stonespine Architects. This is the newest game from Thunderworks Games. It is coming to Kickstarter tomorrow. We'll leave all the links below where you can find that. They did send us this game to review. This is not a paid preview. This is a review, so all of the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. Now, I will go into a full how to play this game in just a second, but I do want to say I was really impressed by this game. I really enjoyed it. It played so smoothly. And one of the things that I really liked about it, it is a drafting game. You're going to be drafting cards, building out your dungeon, building a full 4x4 dungeon, one row at a time. You're going to have 5 cards. You're going to take one. You're going to pass the rest of the hand to the next person, put that in your dungeon, and get the hand from the person next to you. Now, because of that, with that mechanic, there tends to be a whole lot of luck with it. There tends to be a whole lot of lack of control because you can't play, you don't know what cards you're getting, so you can't really plan out what cards are going to go into your dungeon. You just have to hope that the decisions that you make are going to be the right ones and set you up for the cards that you happen to get. That can be really demoralizing in a drafting game when you feel like you're just not getting the good cards, or you feel like you're making poor decisions because the card that you picked didn't set you up to be able to do anything with the next cards that you get. I felt like Thunderworks did a great job of mitigating that feeling in this game. There is always a way to capitalize on the cards that you got, even if they're bad as far as the actual dungeon and the pathways that you're building. There are so many opportunities to score points in different ways, and there's so many opportunities to adjust your strategy as the game goes along. And I felt like it was really well designed in that game, or in that way. Everything changes from round to round. You have your standard elements of the game. You have your marketplace. You have your goal cards here. But there's 2 things that don't change and kind of grow and morph and shift as the game goes along. And that is your blueprint card and the overall shared goal. The market is going to shift, not just what's in the market, like the tokens, but also the cards that make up the market, the cards that determine the cost. And you're going to be cycling through different goals as the game goes along and be able to draft new ones to refine the way that you're going to play. It was really well designed in that way, in that no matter what cards you actually get, there is a pathway to a really good strategic outcome and a pathway to potentially win, even with a otherwise terribly designed dungeon. Because I did get into that situation in some of these where I was like, I put a pathway card down and then I just never got a card in the rest of the round that would connect to it. So I just have this dead end pathway that didn't do much for me, didn't do anything for me, but I was able to mitigate that with the other choices, the other opportunities I was presented with. So let's talk about how this game actually plays. It is played over 4 rounds. We're going to be building a row at a time of your dungeon. You're going to end with a 4x4 grid, and you're going to score based on the pathways, based on your goal cards, based on your blueprint, the shared goals, and any reputation that you have. So like I said, this is a drafting game. You're going to be dealt a hand of 5 cards. You're going to draft a card and pass it to the player next to you, or pass the rest of your hand to the player next to you. You're going to get a hand from the other player, and you're going to do that until you have 4 cards down, and that's the end of that specific round. And at that point in time, you go into the marketplace part of the round. Now, this is set up mostly for a 2-player game. I did put multiple tokens here for the priority, so I can show you how that works. But the number of cards and all of that is set up for a 2-player game. And obviously, this is a fully built-out dungeon. You would start with just this little strip at the top, nothing else. Now, as you build your dungeon, you're going to be building, you have an entrance and an exit, and that's determined by your blueprint cards. So this entrance is on my second space up here, shown by that, and my exit is going to end up down here on this card, which is shown by that right there. Your blueprint tells you what you want in your dungeon and where you want it. So I want a reputation star up here. I did not do a good job of building out this blueprint, but you want a reputation star there. There's 2 different types of chambers that you can have. You can have a cave chamber or a stone chamber. So this shows that you want stone chambers there, and there. You want a trap there. You want these 2 different types of monsters there. And based on how many of those criteria you meet, you score anywhere from 0 to 20 points. So that is one of the ways that you're going to be scoring. And that is, you get dealt that at the beginning of the game. So you're going to know the entire game that you're building towards those goals. There is also a a shared goal here. Whoever has the most nulls, and this is this cycles throughout the game, but in this game, it's whoever has the most nulls is going to score 15 points. Whoever has the next is going to score 9, and the next after that is going to score 5. So most nulls in your dungeon. So you know the entire game that you're trying to build out this blueprint, and you're trying to get nulls. Now, one thing I liked is how many different cards there are of each type. So there's a bunch of different goal cards here. So that it's just such a dynamic game. There's so many different types of cards and so many different of each type of card that made it where things are constantly changing each time you play the game. So you're never going for the same goal. You are eventually, but you're never, and odds are you are never going to play a game where you are going for the exact same goals every time. I mean, these are the different goal cards that you're going to be getting and going through. It's a huge stack of cards here. You have a massive stack of pathway cards here and a really decent sized stack of marketplace cards that are going to swap out here. So everything within the game, other than the rules, is going to be slightly different each time you play and create a dynamic experience. And I think they did a really good job of developing that experience within this game. So let's get back to how you actually play. So you're going to be building out each row one round at a time, and you can place your cards wherever you want within the row, but once they're set, they're there. Now the cards look like this. They have a coin at the bottom. These all have the coin. You just cover that up at each subsequent round. So you have coins at the bottom that you're going to want to pay attention to, because after you're done with the drafting part and you have built out the row of your dungeon, you're going to count up your coins. So I have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 coins. That would put me here at 9. Plus you also count any chests that are in your dungeon. So let's say this was the end of the first round. I have 1 chest there, so that would put me at 10. And let's just say, for the sake of example, that black got 15, blue got 13, and green got 6. So you count up your coins, and you are going to use those coins to buy things from the marketplace. Coins don't carry over to the next round. Any coins you don't use, you lose. So black, because they're first, they have the opportunity to go first. So let's say they buy this green goblin to put into their dungeon. They're going to spend 4, so that goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue is now highest, so blue is going to go first, or go next. So they're going to buy something. Now, if black was way up here on 19, they could have spent that 4 and gone 1, 2, 3, 4. They're still in the lead, so they get to go again. So whoever is highest on that track, even if they've already gone, goes again. So again, really strategic in determining how much you want to weight the coins that you get, because some really high coin cards have other negative aspects to them. They may have negative reputation, but as you're going and looking at your goals and looking at how important it is to add things from the marketplace, you may want to balance and take some less good cards that give you a whole lot of coins. So when your turn comes up on this track, you can either buy something from the market if there's anything left, or you can pass. When you pass, you go to the first place or the next place in the priority track, and you take a goal card from over here. So you would take a goal, you would add it to your little tableau. At the end of the game, you're going to have 3 goal cards because you don't buy a goal card at the end of the 4th round. So black is going to pass, blue is going to pass, green is going to pass. And now this is the priority for the next round, and that's just going to be tiebreakers. So if 2 people have the same number of coins, then whoever has the highest priority goes first. And at the end of the game, if multiple players end up with the same number of nulls, that is the tiebreaker, is the priority. So again, there's some balancing of when you want to buy stuff from the market and when you want to go ahead and pass to get that highest priority. Because in the last game that we played, 3 players tied for this goal, and it came down to priority to break that. Also, whoever has the highest priority at the end of the game gets 9 points, second place gets 3, or gets 6, third place gets 3. So priority at the end of the game can be very valuable towards scoring a lot of points. So that is the market segment of the game. Now you're going to cycle through the market cards, which was really neat. So you're going to get 3 new cards out that are going to change the pricing of things. It's going to change what comes out. You have 3 different types of tokens. You have monsters, you have traps, and you have items. The items could be gelatinous cubes, they could be slime blobs, they could be chests. Sometimes you get reputation stars from those. But those are going to go on based on the shape of the space in the marketplace, and those are going to fill up. and then you're going to put out 3 new goals once those have all been drafted, and you're going to go on to the next round. Now, the things that you're buying in the market, you're going to add to your dungeon, and they can go in any row. They don't have to go in the current row that you just built. They can go anywhere in your dungeon. Each dungeon space can hold up to 4 items. So if I bought this trap, I could put it up there. If I bought this monster could go right there. And you're going to do that for 4 rounds. You're going to build out the row. You're going to buy things from the marketplace. You're going to get your objective cards. And then at the end of 4 rounds, you're going to score. You're going to score for your blueprints. You're going to count up the number of different objectives that you achieved on your blueprint. You're going to get points for that. You're going to go through your 3 different objective cards, and you're going to add up your points from that. So we'll just go through a couple of these. This objective card is for 2 reputation for each ooze in a single cluster of chambers. Now, a cluster of chambers is an unbroken group of a single type. So I have a cluster of stone chambers here, a cluster of stone chambers here, and then a large cluster of cave chambers in the middle. So 2 points for each ooze in a single cluster. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ooze there. And that may be where, because of that, if I got that in the first round, I may want to focus on getting ooze in the later rounds so that I can add that to this cluster, because I know as soon as I get this, that's going to be a way that I'm going to score. And again, I may get one that scores 4 columns of a monster or a certain number of traps in a cluster. Again, as you go through and you gain these, you're going to be given different dynamic opportunities to score. So even if your path is just terrible, you still have ways to get a whole lot of points. So you're going to score your objective cards, you're going to score your blueprint, you're going to do this shared objective over here. Again, in this case, it's whoever has the most knolls. You're going to score for whoever has the most points, and then you are going to score your pathway. And I forgot, before you score the pathway, you score for reputation, which are just the stars that are on your in your dungeon. So for here, I would get 2 for reputation stars. And then when you score your pathways, again, you have your entrance and your exit, and you score for every pathway that is connected to your exit, including branches. It's not just the straight path, it's including branches, and you score to every pathway that's connected to your entrance. So if your exit connects to your entrance, you're going to score 2 points for every path. So for this, I would score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points for my exit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for my entrance. Even though this goes over here, it doesn't connect. Now, one of the really powerful and important things that is in our games pretty rare to come up is a secret passageway. This is maybe where you want to take some negative points in your dungeon to get the highest number of coins so you can make sure you get this. So the secret passageway is a secret passageway. It connects cards that don't otherwise connect. So if I was to put this right here, this would connect these 2, and now my exit is connected to my entrance. So now I had 8 and 5. So I had 13 points. That's now 26 points instead of 13, just because I connected those 2. So you score 2 points for each tile instead of 1. That's a big swing of points from one single little token. Now, we played a game where a secret passageway never came out. But again, that's just one of those choices that you may make if you're not able to connect your pathways. You may want to take some negative points to make sure that you hopefully go, or to do your best to ensure that you go first on the coin track so that you can buy that secret passageway. And that's the game. At the end, you're going to add up your points. Whoever has the most points wins. But it was such a smooth playing game. It says 45 to 60 minutes on the box. Our last game took 30 minutes, and that was with a crying baby who wanted to eat mid-game. So I was juggling feeding a baby and drafting my cards, both of which require 2 hands, and I was doing them at the same time. So it was just overall an incredibly smooth playing game. I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun experience. It's really well designed. I like the way that they mitigated some of the randomness that can be kind of punishing in a drafting game, and made it where it could still be frustrating if you don't get great cards, but there's always a way to mitigate that and to adjust what you're doing to try and offset that frustration and offset your maybe poor luck in cards. So Stonespine Architects, coming from Thunderworks Games. We will leave links below to where you can find all of the information on this game. Leave a Kickstarter link. This is coming to retail also, so if you missed the Kickstarter, if you're watching this after the Kickstarter is done, you should be able to find this game. So yeah, if you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. We'll be sure to answer those as quickly as I can. And until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.